Hey, everyone! It's Sarah! I'm lounging in my sleek, trendy New York City apartment, surrounded by half-packed suitcases and a chaotic mess of travel brochures. Work's been incredible lately. I just landed a major promotion at my marketing firm. Finally, after all the hustle, I'm treating myself to a well-earned vacation. Or so I thought. Sarah, honey, can you grab my dry cleaning while you're out? My mom's voice crackles through the phone. I roll my eyes, exasperated. Mom, I'm in New York. Remember? I can't just pop by the cleaners for you. She laughs. I keep forgetting how successful my baby girl is now. Classic mom, always forgetting I have my own life. Don't get me wrong, I love my family, but sometimes I feel like their personal assistant instead of their daughter. My phone pings. It's a text from my sister Amanda. Hey, can you watch the kids next weekend? Tom and I need a break. I sigh, my thumb hovering over the reply. Sorry, Amanda, I've got plans. I add, but you're so good with them. Lily and Max love their Aunt Sarah. Of course they do. Probably because I'm the only one who doesn't pawn them off on someone else every chance I get. Just as I'm about to silence my phone, it rings again. This time, it's my younger brother, Mike. Yo, Sarah, can I borrow your car next week? Big date coming up. I groan. Mike, I'm in New York. My car's in storage. Oh yeah, well, can you rent me one? I'll pay you back. Sure. Just like the last 5 times. At 25, you'd think he'd have his act together by now. I flop down onto the couch, feeling completely drained. My best friend Rachel sits next to me, her laptop open to her travel blog. Family at it again? She asks, raising an eyebrow. When aren't they? I mutter. She pats my arm sympathetically. You've got to start setting some boundaries. You can't keep dropping everything for them. I know, I reply, the weight of it all pressing down on me. It's just family, you know? Rachel gives me a pointed look. Family doesn't mean being a doormat, Sarah. She's right, of course. But old habits die hard. Just as I'm about to respond, my phone rings again. Sarah, honey, I need you to come home right away. It's an emergency. My heart drops. What's wrong? Is everyone okay? We just need you, sweetie. Now, can you book a flight? Without hesitation, I open my laptop, booking the next available flight. I'll be there as soon as I can, Mom. Just hang on. Rachel watches me pack, concern flashing across her face. You sure about this? It's awful last minute. It's an emergency, I say, my voice thick with urgency. I have to go. Little did I know, I was walking straight into a trap. I burst through the front door of my family's house, my heart pounding in my chest. Mom? Dad? Is everyone okay? The silence is deafening. I glance around and see Lily and Max playing in the living room, completely oblivious to the tension in the air. Aunt Sarah! Lily squeals, running to hug me. Hey, kiddo, I say, distracted. Where's your mom? Max shrugs, not even looking up from his toys. They all left. My stomach sinks. Left? That's when I spot it, a note taped to the fridge. My fingers tremble as I read it, and my blood boils. Dear Sarah, we've gone on a cruise. Watch the kids for 2 weeks. Love, Mom, Dad, Amanda, and Mike. I crumple the note in my fist, barely holding back my rage. You've got to be kidding me. Memories flood my mind, Amanda guilting me into planning her wedding, Mike borrowing money he never repaid, Mom and Dad expecting me to drop everything for their last-minute dinner parties. My phone buzzes. It's Mom again. How could you do this to me? She hisses. Oh, Sarah, don't be so dramatic. It's just 2 weeks. I have a job, Mom. I have plans. I snap back. Family comes first? What about what I need? The call ends abruptly, leaving me seething. I look at Lily and Max, torn. It's not their fault, but I can't just let this slide. I open Facebook, and my jaw drops. Amanda has posted a selfie on a cruise ship, captioned, "Child-free Vaki, here we come." #blessed. A few months ago, Mike's post pops up next, 2 weeks of free booze, thanks, sis. My hands shake as I dial Rachel's number. They played me, They played me. I blurt out, my voice cracking. What happened? Rachel's voice is filled with concern. I spill everything, the cruise, the note, the guilt trip, the constant manipulation from my family. I can barely keep my voice steady. Sarah, listen to me, Rachel says, her voice firm and full of conviction. You need to put yourself first, for once. They can't keep treating you like this. The kids are not your responsibility. Your family needs to learn that they can't walk all over you. She's right. I've spent years bending over backward for them. And for what? What should I do? I ask, feeling utterly lost. Rachel's tone shifts, a mischievous edge creeping in. Well, you're already packed for a vacation, right? A slow smile spreads across my face. Rachel, you're a genius. I know, she replies, grinning. Now, let's plan your great escape. As we scheme, I feel a weight lifting off my shoulders. For once, I'm putting myself first. And it feels damn good. I turn to Lily and Max, calling out, how would you two like to spend 2 weeks with Mrs. Thompson next door? Their excited squeals seal the deal. It's time for Aunt Sarah to teach the grown-ups a lesson they won't forget. With my heart racing, a mix of anxiety and excitement, I call Mrs. Thompson. Mrs. Thompson, it's Sarah from next door. I have an unusual favor to ask. To my relief, she agrees without hesitation. Of course, dear. Those little ones are always a delight. But are you sure everything's all right? It will be, I say, my voice filled with newfound determination. Thanks, Mrs. Thompson. With the kids taken care of, I book my flight to London, dipping into my emergency fund. But you know what? This is an emergency. An emergency of self-respect. I scribble a note for my family, gone on my own trip. Kids are with Mrs. Thompson. Enjoy your cruise. Sarah. As the plane takes off, I switch off my phone, feeling a rush of liberation. Goodbye, New York. Hello, London. Rachel meets me at Heathrow, grinning from ear to ear. Ready for some revenge tourism? She asks. You bet your ass I am, I reply, laughing as I link arms with her. Together, we head into the city, spending our days exploring every corner of London, posing for silly pictures at Big Ben, stuffing ourselves with fish and chips, and savoring every moment of freedom. The city lights twinkled beneath us as Rachel and I lounged on the rooftop, sipping our cocktails. The warm night air brushed against my skin as she leaned over, her eyes gleaming with an almost mischievous glint. Look at you, she said, her voice thick with admiration. I've never seen you so free. I grinned, the weight of her words sinking in. For the first time in years, I wasn't tangled in anyone else's problems. It was just me, just us. I could finally breathe, unburdened by the endless demands of family. But as the night stretched on, my phone buzzed incessantly. I glanced at the screen, a flood of messages. Mom's voice practically jumped out of the voicemail. Sarah Elizabeth, you call us this instant. How could you abandon your niece and nephew like this? Dad's voice followed with its usual calm, but there was an edge to it. Princess, please, your mother's worried sick. Just let us know you're okay. And Amanda, oh, Amanda. What the hell, Sarah? I trusted you with my kids. You're so selfish. Mike's message was the least of my worries, but it still stung, Yo sis, mom and dad are pretty pissed. Can you come back or something? Each message, each word, pushed me further from the guilt that had once clung to me like a shadow. I was done. Rachel looked at me, brows raised, as we strolled by the Thames. Do you regret it? She asked, her voice gentle. I didn't even pause to think. Not even a little bit, I said, my heart light. I was finally, for the first time in my life, putting myself first. And it felt amazing. Rachel nodded, a soft smile playing on her lips. You deserve this, Sarah. You deserve to be happy. As we continued our walk, something shifted inside me. This trip wasn't just about giving my family a taste of their own medicine. It was about reclaiming myself, my life, my independence. It was about becoming the Sarah I had always dreamed of being, strong, self-assured, and free. Back at the hotel, I opened my email and saw an update from Mrs. Thompson about the kids. They were happy, healthy, and apparently loving their time with her. I felt a small sense of relief. I quickly replied, thanking her and assuring her I'd be back soon. Then, on a whim, I booked a day trip to Paris. Why not? As I lay in bed that night, my thoughts wandered back to my family. I wondered if they were enjoying their cruise, or if they were too busy regretting their actions. Either way, it didn't matter. I was done feeling guilty. I was done being the family's doormat. The next day, I stood in my family's driveway, suitcase in hand, watching as their car rolled up. Tension crackled in the air like static. Amanda was the first to step out, her face a storm of anger and relief. Sarah Elizabeth, where have you been? Do you have any idea? I didn't let her finish. Save it, Mom. I know exactly what you all did. Dad stepped forward, his hands raised in that placating way he always did. Now, Princess, let's all calm down and talk about this like adults. Now you want to talk like adults? I shot back, incredulity dripping from my voice. That's rich. Amanda shoved past them, her face flushed with fury. How could you abandon my children like that? I trusted you. I couldn't help but laugh. Trusted me? You mean you manipulated me, all of you did. Mike hung back, looking awkward. Come on, sis. It wasn't that big a deal. Not a big deal? I exploded. You lie to me. You take advantage of me again and again. Mom tried to interject, but I cut her off. We didn't lie. We just... Her voice trailed off. Just what, Mom? I asked, my voice ice cold. You conveniently forgot to mention your month-long pre-planned vacation? They all fell silent, and I could see the realization dawn on their faces. How did I know? Social media exists, Dad, I said with a bitter smile. You should try it sometime. Amanda took a step toward me, her anger melting into desperation. Sarah, please. Tom left me. He said he couldn't be with someone who tricked their own sister. I felt a twinge of sympathy, but I crushed it down. That wasn't my problem anymore. Mike piped up again, his voice defensive. Yeah, well, I just got dumped too. She said I was immature and selfish. I muttered, gee, I wonder why, but nobody seemed to hear me. Mom and Dad exchanged a look. Sarah, honey, Mom started, her voice soft, as though trying to pull me back in. We've been getting calls from everyone, Aunt Marge, Uncle Pete, even Master Jim. They're all so disappointed in us. Welcome to the club, I snapped, my voice sharp. Dad sighed heavily, rubbing his forehead. We messed up, Princess. We see that now. Can we just go back to how things were? I shook my head, firm and unwavering. No! We can't. Things are going to change around here. I laid down my new rules for them, no more last-minute favors, no more guilt trips, no more taking advantage of my kindness. They stood there, stunned into silence. And one more thing, I added. I'm moving to London for a year. My company offered me a position there, and I'm taking it. Mom gasped. But Sarah, what about your family? What about me? Mom, I said, my voice quiet but resolute, don't I deserve to put myself first for once? Amanda grabbed my arm, her voice desperate. Sarah, please. I need you. The kids need you. I gently removed her hand. You'll figure it out, Amanda. You're stronger than you think. I turned and walked away, feeling lighter with every step. As I slipped into my car, I heard Dad's voice calling after me. Will we still see you? I paused, then turned back, my eyes meeting theirs one last time. That depends on you. Show me you can respect my boundaries, and we'll see. As I drove away, I caught a glimpse of them in my rearview mirror. Mom and Dad, standing close, their arms wrapped around each other. Amanda was wiping away tears. Mike kicked at the ground, avoiding my gaze. Part of me ached for them, but a bigger part knew this was necessary. 6 months later, I was thriving in London. My job was everything I'd hoped for, challenging, rewarding, and fulfilling. I'd made amazing friends, and Rachel visited often, laughing with me about how far I'd come. Back home, things were different. Amanda was struggling as a single mom. Mike had finally gotten a job and moved out. Mom and Dad were dealing with the fallout of their actions, but we still talked occasionally. I could sense they were trying to change. As I sat sipping my tea, looking out at the London skyline, I realized something important. Sometimes, the kindest thing you can do for your family, and for yourself, is to set boundaries and stick to them. It's not always easy, but it's worth it. Because, in the end, you've got to be the hero of your own story. And that, my friends, is a story that's far from over. Now, I have a question for you. Have you ever had to cut ties with toxic family members? How did it impact your life? Share your experiences in the comments below. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Your support keeps these real-life dramas coming.